President Trump reacted to the strike on Truth Social today, saying, "I'm not happy with the Russian strikes on Kyiv. Not necessary and very bad timing. Vladimir, stop. 5,000 soldiers a week are dying. Let's get the peace deal done." I want to bring in CTV's military analyst and former commander of NATO forces in southern Afghanistan, retired Major General David Fraser. Major General, good morning. Good to see you again.
Marcia, good to be with you.
I want to begin by asking you really a two-parter. First of all, about the timing of this attack, and does Russia want to end this war?
Well, the timing of the attack is truly unique, but it's also the target of the attack, which is Kyiv, not a military target, but a civilian target. And the fact that Zelensky's out of the country, that the talks are at a precarious stage in the game, it all speaks to your second question. Is it does not appear that Putin wants peace or even to carry on with the negotiations. He really is putting and forcing Trump into a corner to make a decision. And Trump, is pretty soft on Putin and pretty hard on Zelensky. This is not going to end well for Ukrainians or for the United States.
And this comes, speaking to the point about timing, a day after a deal was leaked that shows Ukraine would need to cede Crimea in a peace plan. This was really a non-starter for Zelensky. If the Americans do walk away, as has been threatened, then what? What happens?
Well, first of all, and the United States should not be surprised that any president is going to cede any territory that was taken by an invader, okay? That's just a non-starter. You don't start with negotiations by giving up the territory. You might end there, but you don't start there. And it will be contested territory as opposed to just giving it up. And it just makes this whole situation really impossible. And, what happens if the United States walks away? Well, it benefits Russia. They will continue to fight harder. And then the next question is, will the United States even continue to support Ukraine? And does that put more pressure on the EU and European nations to support it? So this is actually playing into Putin's hands and not the Ukrainians or NATO's hands.
And then, of course, there's the whole issue around NATO membership, which also appears to be in the past. Where do you see any future talk of that happening if, in fact, Trump pulls the plug and says, we're not involved in any peace plan?
Well, I think that becomes even more problematic because, again, you can say eventually there could be a pathway to, but it's not going to happen tomorrow, next year, or maybe 2 to 3 years. But, the whole idea about how you negotiate and diplomacy, this is not the way to do it. It is really awkward. It doesn't make the U.S. look very adept of how to negotiate. When they're giving away territory, they say there's no pathway to membership. It just plays into the hands of the Russians and not really with, diplomacy, what we've seen for the last 60 years out of the States.
Retired Major General David Fraser, he's CTV's military analyst and the former commander of NATO forces in southern Afghanistan. Thanks so much for being with us.